Hello. In today's session, we are going to discuss about the role of entrepreneur. Who is an entrepreneur? What are the expectations of an entrepreneur? What are the qualities required to become a good entrepreneur? And what are the promotional and developmental activities that the government has come forward to develop the entrepreneurship in India? We will be learning about these things in today's session. See this particular legend who is called the Steel Man of India, who is Jamshedji Tata, who was born in the year 1839. He is a legend in the field of steel making, who has shown to the world the India's industrial power and gave a vision to it to create tremendous trends in the field of steel making. In the year 1904, he was died, and in the year 1911, the first block of steel has come out from the TISCO, that is Tata's Iron and Steel Company from Jamshedpur. The place where he has started this business has been named after him as a mark of respect. Now, the next person who took the charge as the chief of this company is J.R.D. Tata, who was a pioneer in the field of steel making and also in aviation. When he took over Tata as MD, it was just making steel. He has diversified the company and stepped into many areas like hotel businesses, and he also started IT business and rather paved the way for the IT business in the year 1990 during his tenure. Now, he did a lot of work and he was a tremendous entrepreneur. Even at the age of 65, he has enormous amount of energy and could bring the turnover of Tata from 60 crores rupees in the year 1939 to about 10,000 crore rupees in the year 1990. It was a marvelous achievement. Now, the legacy of J.R.D. Tata has been transferred to the next person, that is Ratan Tata. The only reason why J.R.D. Tata made Ratan Tata the chief is a man of business mind. When Ratan Tata took over the company, he further improved it, and there is no field where Tata is not there. So he is still striving for its improvement, and he has brought already the TISCO company on the international map, and he has already stepped into global arena to create wonders. He is presently on the work of finding a successor for him because he is a bachelor at the age of 65, and also he is dreaming to provide a car at the cost of 1 lakh rupees to the Indian populace. This is his dream. This is about Tata's. Now you can see the office, corporate office of TISCO. Next is Dhirubhai Ambani. It is said that he was working as a boy in a petrol pump, and those days only he dreamt of having his own petrol bunk. Now he rose to the level of having a market capitalization of about more than 60,000 crore rupees. This just took place in a span of about 40 to 50 years. And you can see here the legend in the petrochemical activities, Dhirubhai Ambani and his sons. Next is Mr. N.R. Narayanamurthy, who is the founder of Infosys Technologies. In the year 1981, he started this business of IT software industry with a trivial sum of about 10,000 rupees and a small group of 4 to 5. Now, the market capitalization of this company, Infosys Technologies, is more than about 60,000 crores, including both India and abroad operations. Now he has created history. Above all, he is a man of principles, He is the first person who introduced the ESOP program, employee stock option program, and distributed the wealth to his employees. Now most of his employees are crorepati's today. Now the next person is the richest woman of India, Kiran Majumdar Shah, the MD of Biocon industry. She started her experimentation in the year 1978. She was trying to extract an enzyme from papayas in a small garage in a remote place in Karnataka. Now, can you imagine the market capitalization of this Biocon is around 6,000 crore rupees. She has a dream of setting up a world-class institution with our own scientific talent, and Biocon is going to emerge out as one of the best institutes in the biotechnology worldwide. Next is the person Lakshmi Nivas Mittal, who is the richest person in UK, Britain, who is a Asian, emerged out from a very small remote area in the western part of Rajasthan where there was no water and electricity. His marvelous attitude and characteristic is to transform the worst into the best. He has been observing his father right from his childhood while he is managing a small steel mill. He has developed that attitude of transforming the worst into the best. Now, his marvelous experience is to purchase the sick units of steel all over the world and transform them into profit-making units. One of his spellbinding achievement is to have a steel unit from Russia where the two extremities of temperatures between +50 to -50, and almost all technicians and consultancies have raised their hands. They have become helpless. In such situation, he has bagged that company, and within a year he could double the production rate and brought it into a profit-making company. That was his achievement as a small entrepreneur. The next is Shiv Nadar, who is an intelligent entrepreneur of India. He was a graduate in science, shifted from Madras to Delhi in the year 1968. He is a very sharp entrepreneur. He was never satisfied with the kind of job he was doing. He always wanted to have his own farm, and he was an opportunist in a sense. He never leaves any opportunity. When IBM has to leave India on an equity law, he plunged into that vacuum and could fill it up with his HCL technologies. With a 4 to 5% group and with a trivial sum, he started his business. And in the year 1982, the first computer came out from HCL Technologies into the market. He considers his victories as group activity and attributes it to teamwork and unlimited amount of entrepreneurial spirit. So he is a very intellectual and intelligent entrepreneur of India. At the age of 50, he is also working with vigor, and he has a vision to bring HCL Technologies into the arena of global. So he has made it into a global firm by opening his company in USA and also in other Asian countries. You have seen all these history makers, but the beginning of the history took place in very remote areas with few people and with trivial amount of money. All that they had at that time was unlimited interest of creating something new. So this kind of creativity and this kind of achievement, this kind of having our own identity could make them into legends in their own fields. So why not we? Why not you? You can achieve that place provided you have certain qualities. So all of them are basically entrepreneurs. What is this entrepreneurship related to entrepreneur, and who is an entrepreneur? Let us go into the details. An entrepreneur, you can see here, is one who has a strong desire to start a business enterprise. So one must have a strong desire to start a business enterprise. He should not have any inclination to go for a job. So such people will have an immense desire to start their own business. Next is a person who undertakes a commercial or productive venture with a chance of profit or loss. He has the courage to face the loss also, but he will have the daring step. He can take the daring step to start his own business, who undertakes a commercial or productive venture. The next definition of entrepreneur goes like this. An entrepreneur is one who innovates and promotes a new venture, rises to the occasion, assembles the other factors of production, and sets the business going. An entrepreneur is one who innovates. You can see this word. Innovativeness is a primary requirement to become a good entrepreneur. The zeal of creating something new must be there, and promotes a new venture, a new kind of venture, the product in its new shape, altogether the business in its new shape, rises to the occasion. Whenever the occasion comes, he is there. He rises to that occasion and picks up the opportunity, assembles the other factors of production. What are all the basic ingredients that are required for production? He could be able to assemble them and sets the business going. This is how we can understand who an entrepreneur is. Now, the entrepreneurship, so the business which he starts is known as entrepreneurship. So how that can be understood? Here you can see it is a purposeful activity involved in initiating, promoting and maintaining economic activities for the production and distribution of wealth. I repeat, it is a purposeful activity involved in initiating. So you should have the courage and strength of initiating a particular activity, promoting it and maintaining. Such maintenance also is required. Consistent maintenance also is required. Economic activities for the production and distribution of wealth. So once he starts creating wealth, he should be able to distribute it also. He should have the inclination of distributing the wealth. So this is how we can understand what entrepreneurship is. Now, the qualities of an entrepreneur. What qualities that an entrepreneur should have? Here are the qualities. Firm determination, a very strong desire to start his own firm or to stand on his own feet. This is very much required. This is the first quality that an entrepreneur should have. The second quality being foresightedness, what may happen in future to the business. So he should have that foresightedness. He should be able to guess the future. He should basically be a visionary. So as to what may happen to the business in the next 5 years, 10 years or 15 years. Unless he had that foresightedness, he cannot consistently maintain that business. The third quality that is required is market knowledge. We should always get ahead with the market to learn what is happening in the market, what are the variables, what are the trends that are taking place in the market. So this is also required for an entrepreneur. The fourth one is shrewd thinking. Yes, he should be able to analyze any problem or any process at a quick rate, at a faster rate, and should be able to find solution to it at even a faster rate than that. So that is what is meant by shrewd thinking. So he should be very fast in assessing the problems or the processes and to find solutions for it. The next quality is self-confidence. Only people having self-confidence can become good entrepreneurs. One should have confidence on him, otherwise he cannot proceed or he cannot even start his own business. The next quality that is required is innovativeness. as I have already told you, the strong desire or the zeal of creating something new. You should have the desire of keeping the product before the customer in a new shape, in a new way, having all the advantages and less disadvantages. This is what is called innovativeness. Innovativeness is not limited to production only. In many areas, you can bring revolutionary trends like financing and capital formation and consistent operation of the unit. So this is how we can understand the qualities. And the last quality that is required is business ethics. Yes, the ethics of the business are to be followed. Within the constraints of law, we should be able to continue or carry out his business. It should not be in any manner an illegal one. And the wealth that he creates must be distributed. He is not the person who is solely responsible for the creation of wealth. He should realize that, and he should distribute that wealth among the people who are involved in that group and to the society for its welfare. So these are some of the qualities that an entrepreneur should have. Now, once he starts his business, what is his role? What kind of role he will be playing in the society? Let us go into those details. The role of an entrepreneur. The rate of economic progress of a nation depends upon its rate of innovation, which in turn depends upon the distribution of entrepreneurial talent in the population. I repeat it once again. The rate of economic progress of a nation depends upon its rate of innovation. Yes, our beloved President ABJ Abdul Kalam Sahab has been telling the community of students, school children, to think, have ideas in your mind. Innovativeness is directly linked with the line of thinking. So this kind of rate of innovation, and which in turn depends upon the distribution of entrepreneurial talent in the population. So this kind of entrepreneurial spirit and talent should be distributed among the population. Then more and more entrepreneurs will emerge out and lead to the economical development of our country. So the role of an entrepreneur is to give a sort of encouragement and inspiration to the other aspirants. Now the contribution of the entrepreneur to the economic development of the country. So he plays a pivotal role to contribute to economic development of the country. Now the first point is how he can contribute. The capital formation. In India, idle money lies with people. That idle money is to be brought out. When one wants to become an entrepreneur, he brings out the idle money from the people and puts it in the process of production. Thus, the national economy or national income is being invested in an activity of production. And when he gets profits, naturally the economical development will take place automatically. So therefore, capital formation is the first activity of any entrepreneur by which he will be contributing primarily to the economic development. Second is the improvement in per capita income. When he starts a business, he starts recruiting people, and people will get salaries, and their salaries will improve as the firm improves in size and business quantity, thereby getting more and more profits. Therefore, this improves the per capita income of our country. So when everybody is busy working with the organization, when majority of the people in a particular country are having work and they could turn out money, then naturally the per capita income of a country will improve. So he plays a key role in the improvement of per capita income. The next point is employment generation. In two folds he will be contributing in this particular area. One is direct employment generation, that he himself gets an employment as an entrepreneur. Second is the indirect form of employment, that is he starts recruiting people, groups, intellectual people, people of various skills, of various levels will be working with the organization. This is how he can create avenues for employment generation. And the next is the balanced regional development. Now, he is a person who by his activity wipes out the regional disparities in a particular country. Now, the Tatas, Birlas, Nadars and Kiran Majumdar Shah, all these people, they do not hail from a particular area. They hail from different parts of the country. All of them are working for the sole goal of attributing something to the economical development of the country. So, thereby the balanced regional development is also achievable for an entrepreneur. The next point being the quality in living standards. Quality in living standards. Yes, when people start earning money, their living standards will be improved. When the wealth is being distributed among the workers, naturally their standards will be improving. When the wealth is distributed to the society, then the society also will develop. Certain facilities will come up, and then the standards of living definitely will improve. The next being the economic independence. The economic independence is that a particular country, when the human resources are refined and the line of thinking is changed, when majority of the people are the aspirants to become entrepreneurs and majority of the people have innovativeness, then naturally that country will become self-defensive one and self-sufficient one and an economically independent country. Soon India is going to become an economically independent country. The next being the backward and forward linkages. When entrepreneur starts a business, the kind of business, the nature of business may be linked with the other kind of business. Like when Tisco is started, all the ancillary units have started, like automobile industries, the parts required for an automobile, for scooters, etc., because all of them need steel. So this is how the backward and forward linkages also will be developing by the attitude of the entrepreneur. So that's how we can understand contribution of an entrepreneur to the economical development. Now, what are the expectations of an entrepreneur? Let us go into those details. The first of it is spirit of service to the society. Yes, if one has a strong desire of rendering service to the society, he only can become an entrepreneur. If one is self-satisfied with the kind of job he is doing, then he will not become an entrepreneur. So, to become an entrepreneur, one should have a strong desire of rendering service to the society. Therefore, the spirit of service to the society is the first expectation of an entrepreneur. The second one is the correct assignment of society's needs. He should be able to detect what society actually needs and he should then try to meet its needs. So, the society's needs, what are they? He should be a person to correctly assess them. All the people cannot assess it correctly. Therefore, all cannot become good entrepreneurs. So, to become a good entrepreneur, one should have the characteristic of assessing the society's needs. The third one being better management of resources. The basic resources that are required are 5 M's: money, material, machines, managers, and material, money, management, and men. So, to coordinate, one should bring coordination among these resources. Therefore, better management of these resources, it should not be too low or too high. So, a proper coordination should be brought between these resources. So, you should have that skill of creating the coordination. Then, the next one is zeal of facing the challenges. Yes, many challenges will arise. When one starts his business, in the initial stages, he may have to face so many problems. Problems with raw materials, problem with the people he has engaged, problems with the machines, problem with the finance, whatnot. In many areas, he may have to face the problems. So, he should have the interest and courage of facing such challenges. So, that is another expectation of an entrepreneur. In continuation, the next point is commitment and total involvement. Once he starts his business, he will be starting his business with a kind of commitment that he should achieve this kind of target within this stipulated time. That is what is called commitment. Once he has this commitment, he should proceed with total involvement. So, the total involvement also is very much required. he should not again concentrate on certain other areas once he starts his own business. He should always think of how best he can improve his own farm. That is what is called total involvement. The second point is the contribution to national economy. Yes. The second very important expectation from an entrepreneur is contribution to national economy. Yes, definitely when he creates products and sells them in the market within India and if possible outside India also, our country will get exchequer from foreign countries. Our foreign reserves will improve and thus the economical improvement takes place in our country. Then the next point is creative thinking. Yes, already we have discussed about this. This is creative thinking. Yes, you should be able to dream in an entirely new way, in an entirely new fashion. You should be able to create the product. So altogether his business should be a new kind of one, a distinct and new kind of one. Next point is to stand as a successful example. When he emerges out as a successful candidate, then he will be acting as a standing example and then he will be creating inspiration among the masses and many more aspirants may take up the task of becoming entrepreneurs. So this is how the expectations of an entrepreneur can be understood. Now, an entrepreneur is a new kind of person. Already we have discussed about that. Now, what is entrepreneurship? What is management? What are the differences between these two? Let us try to concentrate on them. Management enters into the business only when it is launched. You can see here, management enters when the industry is launched. It is not the duty of the management to start from the beginning, whereas for an entrepreneur, the work starts from beginning. Right from the beginning, much before the actual firm starts, he has to start working. He has to plunge into the market and market survey, demand and supply survey, all these kinds of surveys he has to make on his own. Therefore, entrepreneur starts working from the beginning, management plunges into the field only when it is launched. The second point is conventional utilization of resources. Yes, management always resorts to the old methods, age-old methods of utilizing the resources. Now, the entrepreneur will not be satisfied with this kind of attitude. What he does? He will have a rational and economical utilization of resources. So, in a new way, in a rational way, what is required for what and how best we can limit the expenditure in a particular area, how best we can invest so that we will get the first quality good, first quality machine, etc. So, age-old methods, he will not be satisfied. He wants to create some new methods or evolve some new methods. The next difference is that manager ambition level is normal. Once you step into an organization and becomes a manager, you will be compromised with the kind of job and activities in the organization. So, your ambition level will be normal as a worker working in an organization. But for an entrepreneur, he will have a strong, fairly strong ambition. He will have a very strong ambition of becoming a good entrepreneur. He wants to stand on his own feet. He doesn't want to dance to the tunes of the employers. So, he wants to act as a boss. Therefore, he will have a fairly strong ambition. The second point being the management has to consult for executing a decision. Yes, when any decision is to take place, management has to consult other people. But for an entrepreneur, he need not consult anybody. He can take the decisions on his own. Now, the differences between a technocrat and a non-technocrat. In entrepreneurship, two kinds of entrepreneurs will emerge out. One, a born entrepreneur. The second one, an entirely new person. A born entrepreneur is known as a technocrat because he will be learning the tricks on the business and the trade secrets and the strategies, management as well as technical from their forefathers who are already in such field. The example is Tatas, Birlas, etc. Now, a non-technocrat is an entirely independent person, new person who has entered that field. Now, what are the basic differences between these two? Now, a technocrat will have a sufficient knowledge so that he can face any challenge. He has the courage, he has the basement to face a challenge. But whereas a non-technocrat who is a newly born entrepreneur will have lack of knowledge. The second point being training not required for a technocrat. Training is required in adequate amounts for a new entrepreneur. The third point being the command on the personnel. Yes, a technocrat will have command on the persons and managers while taking sensitive decisions, etc. Whereas a non-technocrat depends on technical personnel. So as he is not having adequate experience, nor is he getting anything in inheritance from his forefathers, he has to simply depend on technical persons. The differences continue. A technocrat analyzes the problem and solves it. A non-technocrat cannot analyze the problem. A technocrat can consistently maintain quality. Quality is consistent. Quality is inconsistent. Yes, for a new entrepreneur, quality sometimes gets affected. This happens in the initial stages. As and when he gets experience, he may bring it in line. Now, adopts scientific management. A technocrat adopts scientific management. He has to simply depend on thumb rules in the initial stages. So, this is how we can understand the differences between a technocrat and non-technocrat. Now, the risks and rewards that are involved. So, what is the risk? What is the reward for an entrepreneur? So, risks and rewards are broadly related to first the financial aspects, second the career aspects, third the personal aspects. The financial aspects, career aspects and personal aspects. To these three areas, many of the risks and rewards of an entrepreneur are attributed. Now, let us try to understand what are the risks and rewards when it comes to financial aspects. Now, the financial aspects. Risks arise due to lack of experience in calculating fixed and working capital. Yes, financial aspects, the risks are related to the lack of experience in correct calculation of the fixed as well as working capitals and other accounts. The second point or reason for the risk is excess purchase of raw materials. Yes, as he is not having proper idea about how much can be purchased because he is a newly born entrepreneur. Excess purchase of raw materials could be the reason for risk involved when it comes to financial aspect. Third point is overestimated labor. Yes, sometimes the labor engaged will be more than what is required. Then naturally this may lead to a risk in the financial aspect. Now, the risks involved, what are the kinds of risks that are involved in financial aspects? First thing is suffering for finance. When there is more labor, when you have spent more money on machines and equipment and building, etc., naturally one has to suffer for finance. Second is failure in getting credit from financial institutions. Once the financial institutions, all the financial institutions offer finance only in limited amounts. When your budget goes beyond a particular limit, naturally it becomes difficult for them. So, this will lead to a failure. The third point that is involved, the required is now the rewards. Rewards are one, when he can mitigate all the problems so far expressed, he can have a standing capacity. He can be in the market. For the first year and second year, he may not be meeting profit, but he can stand in the market, meeting all the other requirements. That is what is called standing capacity. The second one is achieving targets. When he stands in the capacity, slowly the targets also will be achieved. Then third one is self-sufficiency. Yes, an entrepreneur will become self-sufficient when he can wipe out all the irregularities and risks that are involved. Then naturally he will become self-sufficient. Now, the rewards involved in financial aspects are, the first one is standing capacity, achieving targets, self-sufficiency, possibility for expansion. Yes, he can further expand his own firm. when he becomes a successful person in all the above three areas, naturally he will get power and money to further expand his own firm. This is how we can understand the risks and rewards related to financial aspects. Now the career aspects. In career aspects, the risks are related to the first one, poor managerial capabilities. So when the entrepreneur has poor managerial capabilities, the risk is a lot. Inadequate training and experience. If the basic training and experience, of course experience comes with time, but the training is required. So when he has no adequate training, then it may lead to a risk in career. The third one is environmental factors. Yes, this is not related to temperature or weather conditions. This is a economical or business environment. So as to which product will have tremendous momentum in the coming years. So when the breakthrough comes for this kind of product. So foresightedness, if one has very excellent foresightedness, then definitely these environmental factors may be made favorable to him. So this is how the risks are related. Then risks involved in career aspects are losing chances for employment elsewhere. When he has to wind up his own organization, when he is not able to satisfy the previous in wiping out the previous risks, then he will not get any employment. He may be facing a lot of difficulty in getting employment elsewhere. The second one is he or she may not be able to interact with other industrialists. When one has no proper knowledge and experience, the inner inhibition stops him from interacting with other industrialists. So these are the risks related or involved in career aspects. Now what are the rewards involved? The rewards involved are the continuance of the unit. Yes, when he can wipe out all the risks, then he will be able to continue his organization. Consistent continuance rather. In modernization of the industry, yes, one quality that is required for entrepreneur is innovativeness, to start something new, to make the product in a new kind of way. So therefore naturally this is only possible with the modernization of the industry, that is being achievable. Third one is assistance from the government. So government also comes forward assisting the entrepreneurs at various levels. So all these kinds of assistances also he will be able to get when he properly stands in the market and he continues the market with his own firm and tries to modernize it. Then the third point is personal aspects. How the risks are developed. Let us see. The first, this is personal aspects, something which is related to the characteristics of the employer or the entrepreneur. Shyness and inhibition. See, personal shyness and inhibition. When he wants to start anything, something drives him back. So shyness also is a reason. So he doesn't want to move with people. Poor decision making. So by these qualities, definitely he will be in a position, he will neither be analyzing the problems seriously or effectively, nor he will be able to take any amicable solution for it. Then third point or the third risk that is related to personal aspect is lack of family and financial support. This may be the reason from the family or from the community surrounding. Also when there is a lack of support, such risk will arise. The lack of managerial skills. Now what are the risks involved in personal aspects are losing morale and confidence. Moral strength comes down and self-confidence comes down, which are the two primary things that are very much required for an entrepreneur. The second point being effect on the prosperity of the unit due to taking decisions slowly. When decisions are taken at a slower rate, naturally it affects on the efficiency aspects of the organization. Third one, the dependency on others. Yes, he has to depend to a larger extent on others. He will not be acting as an independent owner. Therefore, these are the risks that are related when it comes to personal aspects. Now what are the rewards involved? Dynamism and shrewdness. Dynamism and shrewdness. Second one, more self-confidence. It improves his self-confidence. Now independent thinking will develop. Inspiring and encouraging other aspirants. He will be inspiring and also encouraging the other aspirants. These are the rewards. Now, what is a small scale industry? A small scale industry can be defined in many ways, and it changes its meaning with time. Now, let us see this particular definition. A unit employing less than 50 persons if using power and less than 100 persons without using power, and with a capital investment not exceeding 5 lakh rupees. This was the definition given to a small scale industry by Small Scale Industries Board in 1955. So, he is mentioning that 50 persons and 100 persons with a capital investment not exceeding 5 lakhs. Let us see the other definition of a small scale industry. Now, an undertaking having an investment in plant and machinery of not more than 60 lakhs. When it comes to 1991, the government of India has framed the definition. Now, the limit has been increased to 60 lakhs. Now, the next definition is that an industrial undertaking having investment in fixed assets in plant and machinery, whether held on ownership basis or lease basis or hire purchase basis, not exceeding the limit prescribed by the government of India. This limit will be prescribed by government of India as per the time and the situations existing. Now, the present limit is around 3 crore rupees for a small scale industry. Now, changes in investment limits of SSI and AU, ancillary units. AU means ancillary units. So, you can see from year to year how the investment limit has been changing. It is improving gradually from year to year. 1955, 1975, 5 lakhs to 15 lakh rupees. Next, from 1980, in 1980 it was 20 lakh rupees. For ancillary units it was 25 lakhs. Now, in 1997 it was around 300 lakhs, around 3 crore rupees. So, this is how the investment limit is being improved, that can be observed in this particular table. Now, the growth of small scale enterprises in India. How the small scale enterprises are improving in India. So, you can see from 1977-78 there were about 2.96 lakhs of units and contributing to the production of around 14,300 lakhs, employment of offered is 54 lakhs and exports were about 845 crores by all these units. When it comes to 1991, around 12,658 crores of exports have taken place by all these small units, which were in number about 20 lakhs. Now, in continuation, in the year 1998 and 99, about 31.21 lakhs of units are there, and the exports are 49,481 crore rupees, and the employees were 171.6 lakhs, and the total production value is 5,27,515 lakhs. So, this shows us the tremendous power and capacity that is involved in small scale units to contribute to the economical development of India. Now, the basis of defining small business in various countries. First basis is, in various countries the basis is different. Now, for example, if you see India, Pakistan and Indonesia, the investment in plant and machinery is only the criteria for defining a small scale industry. When it comes to employment, it is USA and UK. That means investment and employment is only considered in countries like Japan and Korea and Philippines. So, in various countries the small scale business is defined in various manners. Now, in continuation, in a country like we can say China and UK, the production and sales turnover is the criteria to define a small scale unit. When it comes to Korea, employment and sales turnover is the criteria. When it comes to Malaysia, this investment and sales turnover is the criteria. So, in India we can understand now that only the investment on plant and machinery is the criteria that is taken into account. Now, the promotional activities of small scale industries and self-employment schemes. So, various promotional activities are being offered by the government at various levels. Central level institutions, firstly we study the Department of Small Scale Industry, that is the Ministry of, under the Ministry of Industries it will be functioning. The second one is Small Scale Industries Board, SSIB. The next one, Small Industries Development Organization, SIDO, National Small Industries Corporation, NSIC, and some specialized institutions. These are the bodies functioning at central level. Now, let us see the bodies functioning at state level. State level institutions, State Directorate of Industries, Small Scale Industries Development Corporation, APSSIDC, District Industries Centers, DIC, Technical Consultancy Organization, that is Andhra Pradesh Industrial Technical Consultancy Organization. These are the bodies which will be functioning at state level. Now about SSIB. What is this SSIB? Small Scale Industries Board, which was established in the year 1954, and what are its activities? It advises on the programs and policies of small scale industries development. Now it consists of central and state government representatives of RBI, SBI, state financial corporations, and some non-officials. A group of about 50 people will be involved in this SSIB. Next is Unious Industries Minister is the chairman. Under his chairmanship, many such policies and advices on policies will be given to for the development of the small scale industries. The next organization is SIDO, Small Industries Development Organization. It works for the policy making, that it is the body mainly responsible for the making of the policy, and it brings coordination between various bodies like the entrepreneur, the banks which may create finance for the organization, and various other consultancy bodies which gives assistance at various levels. And also it monitors how they are functioning. It is a monitoring body also. Now the organizations working under SIDO, or rather the network of SIDO, is that NSIC, National Small Industries Corporation, which is established in the year 1955, is the main body, and the main and sole activity of NSIC is to work on the procurement of machinery on hire basis. The second organization is NISIAD, National Small Industries Institute of Extension and Training. This offers training activities. That means this is related to training activities of personnel at various levels. Now the next one is Small Industries Service Units. These are many. In every state there is a particular Small Industries Service Unit. Next is CITD, Central Institute of Tool Design. Next is IDEMI, Industry for the Design of Electrical Measurement Instruments. Like this, many such bodies are working under SIDO. Now the state level institutions are the Directorate of Industries. Now the first activity is registration of SSI. Small scale industries will be registered with the Directorate of Industries. The financial assistance will be offered by the DIC. Now the provision of raw material also is another activity. The granting of essential certificates which are required for the entrepreneurs also is done. The technical assistance and training also is being offered by the Directorate of Industries, and the concessions and incentives for SSI because of the location of their firms in certain areas which are whereby they are become eligible for subsidies. Now the Small Scale Industries Development Corporation, SSIDC, what it does developmental needs of village. So it assesses the village potential and how many are the aspirants who wants to become entrepreneurs. So what are the raw materials, etc. The second activity is procurement and distribution of raw materials. Yes, they procure as well as distribute the raw materials. The marketing, managerial assistance, and promoting trade centers. So these are the activities that are being done by the organizations at state level also. So the government has realized the need for entrepreneurship and has come out with many such provisions and programs, and in future we may see India as an emerging independent economic country, and already it has played its role in the global arena. And in today's session we have discussed about who is an entrepreneur, what is the role of an entrepreneur, what are the qualities required for an entrepreneur, what are his expectations, and what are the various promotional and developmental activities that are being offered by the governments at central level and state level.